Greetings, class. Welcome to the end of week 1 of MSFS 5040. This is Grace, and I am speaking to both sections 1 and 2, and giving you a little look at what my world is like these days and what's going on in the garden, if anything. With these slides, I hope you enjoy it. I'm not going to tell you what everything is. It's hopefully the captions give you the whole story. And I'm happy to be starting seeds even though it's so darn cold here still. Tomorrow's town meeting day, so you probably won't hear too much from me, and I hope you're get nicely ensconced with the first set of readings for week 2. Meanwhile, just a few points about our first week of discussions. You know, I had a whole bunch of points on what you should improve, and I really saw a huge improvement just from discussion 1 to discussion 2. I think you guys have really gotten the hang of it quite well. Of course, you're well experienced in this process. But there's just a few things. Of course, it's always important to do your proofreading and check spelling and all of that stuff, and I'll say it over and over again. Even the best of you sometimes make some silly mistakes or get the author's name wrong, so please pay attention. The sites are generally pretty good. You're doing well. There's a little bit of variability in there, but I'd say that you're doing a good job with citations. It would be great to have more stories about your own observations and experience to back up some of the things you say, and more examples, even if they're from things that you've read. It's really nice to have something more specific and concrete to back up an opinion. By the way, please don't be afraid to express strong opinions or be passionate about an idea, or to disagree with what authors say or your instructor or each other, as long as it's respectful and you back it up with credible facts. You point to information that supports your ideas. And finally, well, not finally, one other point is that it's really good to try to be as close to the word count as possible without going too far over. Brevity is something to strive for. Succinctness is a great quality. We don't have to cover the waterfront. Obviously, many of these questions could be a whole essay, a book, or a course in and of themselves. And finally, do not stress out over the possibility of losing some points for being late sometimes. Stuff happens. We have a couple of people in both sections who are stuck on a mountain and couldn't get their posts done because they didn't have internet access. So, you know, even if something comes up and you lose a few points, what's really important is the quality of your writing, and even if you don't get a perfect score, it's no biggie. Each week is only worth 5%, so please don't get all upset if you're, oh my God, going to be late and didn't let me know. Okay, that's enough of that rant. So what are some of the things that came up during the week? Well, of course, the question of overpopulation was a discussion point, and so was water and education and a general understanding that it's really about uh, the social and political front where these changes are needed. The needed changes are social, a shift in civilization, as one writer put it. Um, but what I was really surprised about was that nobody really got on too strongly about the climate crisis, and considering what we've all been dealing with this winter, I'm amazed that wasn't much more prominent and front and center in your discussions about why this time around things are much more critical than how they were in Loudermilk's time. Certainly, climate and agriculture are very related, and there's a document that I posted in Virtual Cafe for both of you that speaks to that, and certainly sustainable agriculture is about sustainable for the environment and the planet in general. Couple of other things that I thought were valuable insights, the idea of um, the biology of manure and human waste recycling and the immune system. That's a really important subject that is just beginning to make its way into the popular imagination, but it's certainly something that those of us who have been involved in organic agriculture for all of these years are very aware of. Um, and there is also a lot of the issue about human nature and humans versus nature, and are the things that humans do natural or unnatural, what is unnatural. These are all things that are important subjects, and the thing that the very strong influence of Murray Bookchin on my thinking about that is to really describe it as first nature and second nature. Um, there's a huge philosophical discourse around this, and I won't touch it, but the the real point for me is that humans are natural, and what we do is natural. And one of my favorite quotes is from Buckminster Fuller, who is supposed to have said, "If you can do it, it's natural." So that's my viewpoint, and that's why the description of something as being natural is fairly meaningless. Um, and finally, the question about the marketplace, capitalism, profit, and industrial agriculture, consumerism, and all of those things is a huge, huge importance here. Um, I particularly come from a left perspective that really analyzes uh, capitalism of the sort that we're experiencing today, particularly as one of the root causes of the climate crisis and every other environmental crisis. Again, I don't hold dogmatic views about this. I don't oppose people making profits, and I don't oppose entrepreneurial activity at all. I engage in it myself. But I think it's important to understand the difference between what is a out of control system whose only um, measure of success is profit, and that is something that has to change. So, with that, we will move ahead to the next chapter in our discussions and really begin to look at what we mean by success, how we measure it, what standards are, and how they are or are not, may be or may not be consistent with sound science, and of course some tools to help you develop your projects, which you're going to start work on in the coming week with your first assignment. And in everything that you do here, it's really important that you have fun. So I will always tell you, whatever it is, if you're not having fun, maybe you shouldn't be doing it. So I really want to see that sense of joy and interest in what you're doing. That's the most important thing. So have a good night. Stay warm. Uh, get home safe from wherever you are, and I'll talk to you again soon.